What's up, jobbers, and welcome to the latest edition of the Jobber Knocker podcast. As always, is Nestlemania alongside for the ride is the man that is returned. He may have feigned an injury. He may have cried in a corner because of Cody Rhodes, but he's back and he's better than ever. JC.
Oh, I was literally going to do the I'm back and better than ever song.
So there you go.
He threw me off by saying it. But yes, I am back. I am here to get this shit back on track. And we're going to dive into everything in the week. And you know what? Nestlemania, I wasn't here last week. I was injured, but that wasn't the reason why I wasn't here. I was upset about Cody, but that wasn't the reason why I wasn't here.
Can you show me the leg? Is the leg getting better?
The leg is a lot better. It's I only really feel it when I put a lot of pressure on it. So the doctor did well by me. My Cody Rhodes tape is actually off. I took it off this morning finally.
He's not a real doctor. Don't call him a doctor. Don't let him go to his head.
I don't know what he did to the back of my leg when I was laying face down. I don't know what he did to that thing, but whatever machine he used, that thing like was magic. Like seeing that machine and thinking about professional athletes and when they get hurt and how they like come back from these injuries so quickly. If they get that type of treatment every day, man, no wonder these guys can come back. So shout out the back cracker for fixing my leg. You know, a back doctor fixing my leg. That's pretty good. He's
not a leg guy, so that's interesting. Just
throwing it out there. We're in the Hall of Fame, but yeah. No. Okay, I'm gonna hit right off the bat before we get into the regular part of the program. Obviously, I haven't talked about Cody yet. I've had 2 weeks to sit on this. As many of you know, I was upset, but it wasn't maybe for all the reasons that you thought. So I kind of want to dive into these. And I know Nestle did mention last week that I did say to him that they took a little bit of my passion, and it still feels that way because this is kind of the best way I can describe it. So, you know, when you're in a relationship with someone, like for me, it'd be like a girl. And it's like, you know, this girl, like it's like whatever, you're back together, you're on and off, you're doing this thing. But all of a sudden, like something heartbreaking happens to you. And you're really upset. And you don't understand why. But then when you think about it, you're like, man, I'm not mad at her because she's just doing what she's always done. I can't fault her for that. I'm upset with myself for believing that it would be different this time. And that's kind of how I felt with the whole thing with this, because obviously WWE, like we talk about it a lot, they can maximize moments, but I feel like this one, man, like I don't think I know what they're doing. Obviously, you guys talked about it last week. A lot of people have done it and we've done the spin trying to make ourselves feel better about it. But I don't think any moment that Cody moment will be as perfect as it was 2 weeks ago on Sunday. So I think it was a big whiff. One of the biggest whiffs they probably ever had. And it definitely, it was a bummer because I want that moment to be special for him. And now we get into the territory where we have yet another year of a part-time Roman Reigns, those titles not being around. But the thing that really sucks for me as a Cody fan is he's still going to be asked to be the centerpiece of the show and carry the banner city to city and pretty much be the champion without being the physical champion. And that can only mean one thing. That means that the chances of people turning on him get more and more every week. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon because, as you see, the reactions are ridiculous for him. The whoas are louder than they've ever been. So in the short term, WWE's going to get what they wanted. But it's like, man, that Brock Lesnar thing, I was thinking about it. I'm like, how cool would it have been if Cody came out with the titles and then that fucking happened and everyone was like, oh my God, they finally give Cody the championships and he has to defend it against Brock Lesnar? Everyone would freak out. So you'd still get the same effect. But I don't know. For me, it also kind of cheapened KO and Sammy's win because they're going about talking about how they dismantled the bloodline. And I'm like, Did you though? Roman Reigns is still the champion. He's still in power. Yeah, you beat the Usos. That was an awesome accomplishment, but I don't know. For me, it kind of sucked and it cheaped everything. We're dragging it out another year. But the other piece, and this is the part that really hurts me, is because now we're going to just have a backlog of more people waiting to get opportunities. So if you want Seth Rollins or Bobby Lashley or Gunther to take the next step, or any of these people to become world champions, you're going to be waiting even longer, it seems like. And the other piece, like if they do split these titles during the draft, like some people are saying, that's such a cop-out, man, because that means no one's getting the moment to beat Roman, and that kind of sucks. But that's kind of quickly like where I stand on it. So it really, my opinions haven't changed much over the last 2 weeks. I definitely was a little disenchanted with a lot of things, but at least I still got my boy Dominic on TV. Liv's got another title. NXT is still awesome. So there's still plenty of things to be happy about.
I have a couple things I wanted to ask you very quickly.
Let's do it.
Okay, so you saw the Becky Lynch video, I assume, right?
Which one?
The one where she says Cody Rhodes wasn't ready for the moment and she backed that her husband should have been the person. I mean, obviously she's being a good wife, but like
Seth said the same thing as he should. They should feel that way.
No, but I just think it's funny because people are saying, for the fact that, we know that Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes aren't the best of friends, and that's fine. You can always just coexist. You don't have to be great friends. But I will say this much. I really, really was thinking when Becky Lynch said that, I said, she doesn't believe what she just said. Like, there's no way she believes 100% that she's just being a good wife, and that's fine.
Yeah, and that's what she should say. She should support her husband, and Seth should feel that way too. Everyone in that goddamn locker room, Bobby Lashley should feel that way. Austin Theory should feel that way. Gunther should feel that way. Solo Sikoa should feel that way. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Jey Uso, they should all feel that way. But then, like you said, doesn't make it true. And I can't believe I'm about to say this, and I meant to mention this in my rant too. Fucking Jeff Jarrett was right, man, and he fucking doubled down on it after. If those of you don't know, he pretty much said he's like the person that's going to lose the most if Roman retains is Roman Reigns. And he once again comes in. I'm like, oh my God, Jeff Jarrett making sense. And you know how I feel about Jeff Jarrett. So the fact that,
Hey, don't piss me off. All right. Anyway, so here's something else I really want to talk about before we get into the rest of the show very quickly, because I haven't really talked to you about this. So Cody Rhodes loses. Heyman has an interview afterwards, and he said, if Cody had won, nothing would have been happening. There's nothing there. Now, Cody Rhodes has the Odysseus Odyssey kind of thing. Now he has to get back to being relevant in terms of what the tribal chief thinks is relevant. We saw on Monday where he said, I am the moment, I've earned it, I am it. So I'm curious how you feel about Cody Rhodes being a champion in a fictitious world right now versus now being like, oh, this could be potentially interesting, especially with Brock Lesnar.
So the tough part for me is because obviously, like, if they're setting it up to be like this Cena Rock thing where he gets his redemption next year's Mania, like whatever, like it's one of those things, like, because I hear everyone making the point, and again, I think this is people just trying to make it sense for them as opposed to just like trying not to like be upset about it, which I completely understand. It just like the whole thing about Cody Rhodes needing to face all this adversity for another year. It's like, motherfucker, he's been facing this adversity since like 2015 when he put on that fucking Stardust uniform. We had to fucking leave and all this. Like, he's gone through it. Like, that's why the journey was at its pinnacle. Now you're just adding it and you're just making it a longer journey. But in terms of him being the champion right now, like I said, it obviously wouldn't have been the same segment if Cody had won the way they did the Brock thing. Because for the Raw after Mania, that was the only thing worth a damn was Brock Lesnar. But it's like, to me, like that, just that feeling is like you're so elated Cody won, and you'd be thinking like, oh, he'll have some fun feuds now. Oh, he gets a feud with Seth, and to have Brock Lesnar just come out and immediately get an opportunity, everyone would be like, oh my God, they're gonna take this away from Cody in a month. Vince is gonna want to put it on Brock Lesnar with all the Vince talk going on. They're gonna be like, oh my God, this is whatever. And so to me, it's like you had it right there. Like you had the formula. And you're going with that formula, you're just doing it without championships now. And those championships are MIA. The Tribal Cuck, as I'm wearing the shirt right now, is MIA. He won't be defending at Backlash. Backlash is going to be headlined by Cody and Brock in a non-title match. Like, it's just to me, like, it's devaluing, like, your product overall. Like, we talked about this all last year, man, with the championship things. And we were kind of like, we'd brush it off here and there because Roman's amazing. And we're like, oh, we see the light at the end of the tunnel at WrestleMania, and they can split them after that. Well, that light in the tunnel, that tunnel's closed until next year, probably. Some people are saying SummerSlam. You think Roman Reigns is losing this thing at SummerSlam? Come on. Roman Reigns is probably going to face Seth Rollins or Bobby Lashley at SummerSlam. I think they're going to keep Cody around for a while. I think he's about to going to win Money in the Bank, and then fucking Logan Paul's going to push him off the ladder. Logan Paul's going to come down with the goddamn Money in the Bank. People are going to freak out. They're going to put us through it, and I don't know if I'm ready for it because, man,
It's a lot.
It's
It
a lot.
is a lot. It is a lot. And our boy, Mr. Gilmore, the back cracker, not the leg cracker, the nut cracker, perhaps.
The
If you
calf
ask
cracker.
me, the calf cracker, that's a new one. Hashtag calf cracker. If somebody could put a Photoshop of Josh's leg, if you ask me, all of this Cody needs to face adversity. He needs to build more, just as an excuse for making WWE for not having the balls to take the title off of Reigns. Well, that's one asshole's opinion.
Hey, it's not a bad opinion because I mean, look, I've talked to a lot of people about this because I was genuinely like, it's one of those things now. So when you get something when you're hurt like that, you're looking for people to like tell you, like give you hope, and everything that people said, like the arguments, I was just like, man, they're either completely agree with me or it's just like they don't have it because it just, I don't know, it seems like a whiff, and like everyone's saying, like the crazy thing to me, and I don't know, maybe you can speak about this too, but this fucking like Rock and Cena thing, people talking about it, comparing it, and talking about how great it was. It's like, do you remember that timeline? How people felt about that at the time? They didn't love it. They hated it, drag it out. This is when like the turn on Cena really started. So it's just like, I don't know.
I tend to think I was getting more excited about the idea of Cody Rhodes being in the same conversation as a John Cena, because I didn't even remotely put them in the same category, in my opinion, yet. And to see what he's doing merchandise wise, to see what he's doing otherwise, I thought he did a great. No, he does a great job. And again,
he's the top guy right now.
But he proved, even in a loss, like that's the thing we always talk about on this program. Even in a loss, you can still prove more than a win.
Oh yeah.
And so I think that, like, I mean, we'll talk about it more, I'm sure, as the night goes on. But I just think he did a great job covering his tracks in terms of like, well, and he took it on stride. Now you can have all these conspiracy theories and stuff like that. We can get into tinfoil hats if you really want to. Whether because he destroyed a throne or because he was in AEW, he has to be rebuilt or whatever. Like I've seen everything. But it's so interesting to me. And I know that, like, I didn't care so much that Cody lost or won because I'm not a Cody guy like you are. I'm definitely cheering for him. But what? And I won't release the video because obviously you said not to. Nothing that it was like damaging or embarrassing or anything like that.
It was literally me watching. Content. And like me expecting the kick out, me just turning to the camera with my mouth like wide open.
Wide open. And so like, and then I changed, then it showed other people. But like in my head, all I could think about was if JC is going to be as excited when he finally does it now.
No, that's the thing. It's like, here's the thing, because I do want to separate this. When Cody does win, I'm going to be excited. It's still going to be an amazing moment. It won't be and this is a testament to how well they built this story leading in. It's just like that moment, like for me, probably would have been the highlight of my wrestling fandom. But even I think if you're not a Cody fan, it would have been one of the top highlights of all time and moments created, especially at a WrestleMania. So I don't know. That's why to me, and like I watched that whole Triple H presser looking for a reason, be like, Hunter, explain to me, and his fucking reasoning just made it worse. And I was like, oh God, either this wasn't your call or you're a fucking delusional idiot. I was just like, oh man, we're fucked.
Bertsky, you would be the first person to listen to us in the shower, I think.
Ooh.
No, nobody's come forward anyway. I did not need the visual of a naked Bertsky, but here we are. So thank you for keeping it so fresh and so clean.
A little soap ski on the bird ski?
Little soap ski. So we should get into the regular part of the show. We've talked for like almost 13 minutes about Cody Rhodes.
Oh, yeah.
We should get into the regular part of the show. Always in the shine, just like Mandy Rose. There's a lot that was good. There was a lot that was bad, but we always start positive in this program. So let's get it out.
Judgment Day. Best thing in WWE right now. Obviously, Cody's amazing, but whatever. We just talk about him. So I'm going to go to that. Like, and then to me, like the big part, like for SmackDown, these promos on fucking SmackDown with the Judgment Day, I was just like, I bought into everything all of them said. And I'm just all about this. Like, you guys, like, it just, Dominic fucking Mysterio, man. This kid gets better and better. He gets more confident. And just, I don't know, this, I was waiting for, I'm like, when am I going to get sick of Dom and Ray? It's not anytime soon. I think Finn got his shit back. Dom and Priest, I think, won a tag team match on SmackDown. And then Finn actually beat Ray on Raw. So the Judgment Day is getting some momentum in the wins losses, probably just because they're going to get pinned by Bad Bunny at Backlash in Puerto Rico. But I mean, Judgment Day to me, if you ask me the best thing in WWE right now, it's Judgment Day. They're so good.
Okay, that's fine. I mean, I loved on Monday that he flubbed because everybody's like, oh, he botched. But I was like, but pump the brakes, folks. I can't believe I'm defending Dominic Mysterio. But I could argue that flubbing gets more heat. And it's okay.
And that's the thing.
If it's a baby face, you're fucked.
It's how you flub too.
Yeah.
Because he knew he fucked up right when he did it. But it's one of those things, like in that moment, you make a decision. Either you make a joke about it or you keep rolling. As a heel, you just keep rolling. So it worked. And like you said, you get that little extra. I mean, I don't think you can give Dom extra to this point.
No, but I'm just saying, like, at this point, it's just like,
yeah, no, it just
whatever.
that's like he rolled with it. He rolled with it. Whereas, like, I mean, when other people flub, they tend to like,
they shit themselves. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, but it's hard. It's really, really hard. But so yeah, Judgment Day, I agree. I'm curious where we are in Puerto Rico for Backlash, whether it's Bad Bunny and Rey Mysterio against Dom and Priest, or we've got some cockamamie idea with the LWO. I don't even know. Like,
I feel like it has to be the 2-on-2 because you could add Finn in, but it's just like, are you just going to add Santos, who's just been eating pins for Rey? I don't know.
I mean, I would rather not have Santos directly up Rey Mysterio's ass for the rest of eternity, but it seems like
I think it makes sense because you have the Priest Bunny thing and you have the Rey Dom thing, so you just put it all in one match.
So here's the great thing about this for Backlash that you can't call. You could have Brock and Cody close the show. You could have the Usos and Solo against Sami Zayn and Riddle and KO, and
There's
then
your match.
And then you could also have, some other stuff as well that has just been great. So, I mean, it's just, there's so much, and it's interesting to me because there's some good stuff going on here. So just saying, it's some good stuff. They'll need a Big Show versus Strowman reinforcement of the ring for my moonsault. Oh, this is the chat's taking on a life of its own. That's why you have to come and be part of this Jobber Knocker video, because honestly, the chat is far more entertaining than anything we can say, because Joe, Bertsky, and everybody else, they take us to task. Something that I was really excited about and I really enjoyed, which again, little things here that we don't really get to see a lot of, but it was fun. I really enjoyed SmackDown for the Uso whole thing. I thought that was very cool that if you looked closely at the attire of people, like it was very specific. Jay was dressed like an Uso before the bloodline. Like, I love that little nugget. Now, I might be going off on a tangent and be fucking cuckoo, which I normally am, but I was excited about that because I was like, ooh, they're doing something here. Like the fact that it was just like, Solo's going to take care of the problem or you will, and I like that whole dynamic of like, oh, like Jimmy and Jay might be on the outs already. And they just did a great job, again, threading the needle of being the A story throughout the entire night. And then watching, like, this was the other thing too, like KO, this is a part that I didn't necessarily love, but I like that they came back together, which was KO and Sammy were talking. He's like, I got to have a chance to talk to Jay. And then he had his chance to talk to Jay because he knew what was going to happen eventually. And then, they put a case on KO's knee. So I just thought it was kind of like a great little thing back and forth and a lot of cinema. So I thought that was well told, well done, continuing what they're doing, even with Roman Reigns not necessarily anywhere near there. So I just thought that was worth something. And especially the other thing that made my ass perker up just a little bit, like tighten up, like my sphincter just was tightened, was that KO was wearing a Bruno Sammartino shirt. And all I could think about was, is that Tribal Cup going to fucking beat Bruno's record for 2028?
I'll be out long before then, if that's the thing, man.
I mean, in a world full of instant gratification and fucking Instagram stories and YouTube shorts, can we really do another 5 years of this?
No,
I don't think so.
I don't even want to do another year of it. So
no, yeah, it's tough. I don't know. I'm just saying.
So you focused a lot on the storyline stuff on SmackDown, which was, to me, like, I'm kind of disenchanted with the whole bloodline thing, because I know these guys, they did a great job last year carrying the load, and they're gonna have to do it again. But it's just like, how long before this just starts to get old, especially now that they're like opposite fences or whatever. But to me, I'm gonna go to Monday, because the Usos reminded us once again why they're one of the top 2 tag teams in the world, 1A, 1B. I and the Beholder can decide. That match with Alpha Academy was a fucking blast. They're awesome. I love watching the Usos wrestle, especially against like legit tag teams like Alpha Academy. And man, Otis getting those crowd reactions made me smile, because that means what they're doing with him is working. So to me, great segment.
I actually put that in my notes, and literally fire flames. saying that match was amazing. Otis was hilarious. Gable was a stud doing what Gable does every single goddamn week. But then the Usos, again, proving, like you said, just top to bottom what tag team wrestling can be, but also that the Usos have the ability to take any tag team and make people invested in that matchup, which again is a characteristic and a stat into itself that not a lot. You can claim you're a great tag team. You can sit here and we can talk about, FTR, Young Bucks, all these other people, Penta and Phoenix, or a soft spot for me.
No, the Ring of Honor tag team champions, Adam?
We don't talk about that. We don't talk about ROH. I'm allergic. I'm allergic to honor. That's what I am. I'm allergic to honor. I am dishonor. That's what I am.
Yeah.
Dishonorable. So no, but I just think that they do a great job in terms of tag teams in general. But I think that was eye-opening for me because we know Gable can go. We know Otis can go if he had to. But the Usos did a fantastic job top to bottom. Top to bottom.
They're just great, and I'm glad that they're still getting to be featured. This was another one. This is a surprise for me, Nestlemania, and I shouldn't have been surprised because I believe Corey Graves called it the Big E special. We got some big meaty men slapping meat, and Nestlemania, I will say this is the most I ever cared about Bronson fucking Reed because him and Bobby Lashley put on a big meaty man banner. I fucking love this match. It was physical. It had the outrageous spots. It was the big boys throwing their bodies around. It was Bobby Lashley getting some of the biggest reactions he gets because Bobby Lashley's a fucking stud and should have been on WrestleMania. Another big fucking whiff from a couple weeks ago. But I was happy for both these guys to kind of get it because obviously Lashley deserves everything he gets because he's amazing and people love him. But I was also happy for Bronson Reed because, even though for me, I don't think I'm ever going to be there in terms of a fan, but I thought he proved out and showed this is why I belong. I belong. You can put me against some of the top guys in the company and I can have a good, physical, gritty, believable, entertaining match.
I was surprised how much Bobby Lashley, I think I tweeted it out, but he was the most over babyface at one point last year. There's no doubt about it. Before Cody, obviously Cody was gone. Seth Rollins is Seth Rollins, but Bobby Lashley was right there. And then they kind of fumbled it. They fucked it up big time. And then to watch what he did on Monday, I just thought to myself, this guy has to be one of the immediate challengers to Roman Reigns. He has to be because he's the most logical. He's the most, you don't have to buy into it. He is who he is. Bobby Lashley on a poster, Bobby Lashley in the program, even if the Roman Reigns character takes him to task in terms of what he's going to say and Bobby flubs, I think it's still a little endearing because Bobby's still one of those guys you look at him and you're like, yeah, if you make fun of him, the dude's going to rip your fucking head off. So I'm in. I think Bobby Lashley should be the next contender. It might be Money in the Bank. It might be Saudi Arabia. I have no idea. But if it's SummerSlam, sign me up for Bobby Lashley. I would love to see Bloodline Hurt Business, but I think you can believe the reports or not that they're gonna throw the trash out on the Hurt Business, which is it's sad.
Yeah, because the obvious, very, very easy way to help Bobby Lashley with promos is to reunite him with MVP. But it doesn't seem like they're gonna do that because they teased it and they've stopped teasing it. And obviously Omos probably needs it more than Lashley, but you're right. 100%. If they get in a big feud, that is the worry is that Lashley looks the part. He acts the part, but sometimes the talk, he kind of loses people. But he is someone that isn't notched on Roman's belt yet. It's a very short list, that could be put on that. And he's pretty much the top of it. So I do think over the next year, if we're definitely dragging out the Cody thing, it's at some point I got to see Bobby and at some point I got to see Seth. Beyond that, I don't know if there's anyone else, and I don't know if Roman Reigns is going to work more than that because, God forbid, those two titles are ever on TV. But yeah, no, I was happy, very happy for Lashley on Monday.
Hold on, I got to call out Peacock and Pollock over here who's fucking feeling it because he fucking won predictions. I kill JC's momentum every week. Are you fucking kidding me? It's a yin and a yang here. It's a yin and a yang.
It is kind of, look, you got the black bandana, I got the white headband.
Yeah. It's babyface, heel, shine, heat. We're yin and yang for crying out loud. And I tried to draw a teardrop for Doc, but it's just not coming.
I saw you trying to draw on your face. I was trying not to laugh.
Yeah, it's hard to do. I can't do it. I'm gonna have to get a neck tattoo.
You look like your kid's just doing it on your face.
Yeah. Well, I have a mole. So does that count?
Mole?
Mole, mole.
Mole.
Whatever. This is already off the rails, but whatever. If everybody loves it, I don't care. Something else I really enjoyed was on Monday, which again, kind of an interesting thing, but a very, very small detail that I am interested in, even though we absolutely hate damage control. Very small thing that I thought was positive here. I just want to make sure we say it. Bailey talking to Adam Pearce to get EO a title shot. That's basically what I'm saying in the Shine, because I thought that was a very special moment, because I thought that Bailey not being regular Bailey was very intriguing to me. And I do think going forward, you can put the money down on the table. I'm saying it right now. Not impressive, I'm sure, but this is a Nestle expectation in my mind. The draft is going to break up the Street Profits because they won't break up themselves.
You ain't doing that.
And they're going to break up damage control. That one seems more logical.
They've already like laid the groundwork for damage control. We'll probably talk about that a little more later, because when we talk about the match of the year there on Monday for the women's tag titles, which we will get to later in the show, because that was certainly a banger. I'm excited for that too, because it was weird, because obviously Bailey came out and said she got herself an opportunity, but then she went in. So it's an interesting dynamic, but it's very easy, like you said, to separate them in the draft. I don't think the Street Profits are getting broken up in the draft, Nestlemania. You're just continuing to try to break up one of the fan favorite tag teams that WWE loves to have. And if they're going to do that, they're going to do that right, I think, because they need to work off each other's momentum. So,
well, Bertsky, I just want to say, he says, I'm so thankful for Nestle. Gets Doc to jump all over someone else for an hour or so every week. Well, that's true, Bertsky, because he can't jump on his wife every once in a while, so he has to jump on me. So that's what we're going to do.
Oh, well, Nestle, that was a pretty good promo by you. And now I think we have to go to the part of the Shine where I go back to my boy and we talk about the best promo in wrestling, Cody Rhodes. I know you don't like his big words, but I don't give a fuck. This motherfucker, just every week, it's just like he fucking talks. And I'm like, I want to fucking run through a wall for you, motherfucker. Like, he's so good. And it's just his promos. I love just listening to the crowd, because whenever he's talking, everyone just shushes because they want to listen. But the minute he tries to get them fired up, they go fucking nuts. He has us in the palm of their hands. We are fucking nibbling out of his fucking hand, kissing the ring. He's the man.
I did say in my head when I was watching it, when he said, I am scared, I'm like, there's only one way he can. And I think here's something that they taught me a long time ago, and I really wish I could have like implemented it when they were teaching us in wrestling, like what to do in a certain situation. But they said, study great baby faces. And when I was listening to Cody Rhodes, all I could think about was, if he can help himself not do the big words, in my opinion, he's going to be an outstanding baby face for a very long time. But what he did was say, I was scared. He showed vulnerability. And that made him more likable in that moment where I was like, yeah, I'm scared, but I got to do this. Like, I have to do this. And I think everybody can relate to somebody being afraid. I'm afraid of plenty, and so when I saw that, I thought, man, what a great little nugget there where he was like, I have to do this. Like, I don't want to do it. I have to do it. And, then he he just gave it to Brock. He said, answer the call, as if he wasn't going to, which I thought was a nice little nugget. Again, to me, the most effective baby faces are ones that are vulnerable. I expect Brock Lesnar to eat him like lunch, like he said. I mean, Cody Rhodes is going to get chewed up and spit out for a very long time. Unfortunately, he's going to get uncomfortable. And I'll be curious to see how many fans fall off by the wayside after all of this. But to see Cody Rhodes go through this entire thing will be pretty good, in my opinion. I think I'm in on the ride. I really am. For someone that's not.
I've been in on the ride since 2015, man. So having to do it for another fucking year, WWE style, which is the most brutal style. They'll probably have him fucking dressing up by Stardust for fucking January for the Royal Rumble. Do you have any other Shine?
And I can go into heat if you like.
Okay, well, I have a transition piece because I'm very happy Liv and Raquel won the tag titles because they are a good babyface tag team. And maybe now, since they're two women that are going to be on TV every week, they're going to have an opportunity for those titles to maybe get a little better chance here. Because, these are two of the women that get big reactions from the crowd. And I thought they tried their damnedest to make this match good, but
Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. Get him off my TV. This match was the shit.
Whoa, we're like botch and roll. Watch me fuck up every move. Whoa, my time is way off. I'm waiting for a bus. Everyone's looking at me like, whoa, what the fuck you doing, Trish? That was, man, like, I honestly, watching that match, I was like, this is what it feels like if they took a random person off the street and asked them to wrestle. Because shit, like, literally, like, there were multiple times where, like, they all just, like, stop. And Trish would just be staring at them. Like, it's like, oh my God. It's just, it's one of those things where it's like, they have to choreograph this shit for her. But it's like she can't remember any of the choreography. So she's just standing there. And then when she does remember something, she fucks it up. And I was just like, this is literally killing little child JC. Because little child JC thought Trish was amazing. And watch her now, it's like, oh my God, this is worse than the fucking Undertaker trying to wrestle concussed at age 70. Good fucking God, that was embarrassing. Like, I just like, oh my God, they tried. They tried so hard to do so many cool spots, the other three women in this match. But it just like, oh man.
I mean, obviously we look at Trish for obvious reasons, but this one was like, I couldn't look away. I was like, in my head, I went, you have to give her the benefit of the doubt, right? And then I'm like, nope. Like, I just, in my head, I kept thinking to myself, like, here she is. She got teenage Adam through a lot of rough nights. And then there she is. I'm like, let's go. And then thank God she didn't pick up a microphone. Like, thank God she went right past Byron.
So we pick it up next week after what she did after.
Oh my God. You know what it was? When they say why Trish, why? I'm gonna go like, just buy Trish, buy. Just get the fuck off my TV. Like, this was so bad. So bad. And here's the other thing that, like, I had like an epiphany while I was watching this matchup. I don't know why.
Tiffany epiphany?
I had a Tiffany epiphany, as she said. I fucking love her, by the way. She's so awesome. She's just gonna be the next big thing. But anyway, that's beside the point. When they went on the second rope and Becky Lynch was like trying to do something and they like shoved her away, I was sitting there and I'm like, I went into a flashback of like, well, this is what it was like for poor little Adam, who was just trying to get involved with stuff, and their friends were like, no, fuck you, asshole, get away. Like, it looked so remedial, like so back in like grade school. They were like, let's keep the fucking no over here because she can't do anything. And then the fucking hot tags were fucking mid at best. They were so bad.
Mild tags.
What?
Mild tags.
It's so bad. But here's the other thing that drove me nuts. So like, God. I don't want to get on a Becky Lynch rant. I really don't. But I realized this last night on Monday when I was watching. I watched her do the top leg drop. And I know you guys always laugh at me saying like, oh, she does a shitty leg drop and Nestle hates it. But what I realized what it was having somebody against her like a Liv Morgan and watching like a Raquel Rodriguez. I went, now I know why. It's because she doesn't go up. She just like falls like an anchor off the top rope. There's no air. It's just like, wee, and she just falls. And it's so unimpressive. And I was watching these other two. It was just so far more impressive. So I just thought that was great.
Yeah, it's so tough because like I'm just watching this match and it honestly was probably the most engaged I was in Monday Night Raw besides a Cody promo, just because I just couldn't look away. I'm just watching. Imagine, because before the match you could see like Liv is so like bad at hiding her emotion. I think that's why we really like her. But you could see the glow on her face, like, oh my God, I'm in the ring with Trish Stratus. Holy shit, this is a dream come true and all this. Then I'm watching the match and Liv trying to fucking do these cool spots and Trish just fucking everything up for everyone. I'm just like, oh my God. Like, what happens when they walk back in the curtain? Triple H looks at him and goes, good job. Just fucking
golf clap,
shakes his head as Trish walks away. But it's like one of those things. It's like, I mean, we were worried about a fucking Becky Lita match. Now we're gonna probably have a Becky Trish match and a fucking, God forbid, a Lita Trish match in 2023. Good God.
Hold on, there's a lot of Nestle blasphemy in this chat. I just wanted to make sure that Joe and Joe get their fucking panties in a bunch here. Oh God, that could be worse than a Nestle versus Lily match. Go fuck yourself. At least Nestle.
I'd have to root for you in that match.
At least Nestle. You know what? I have wrestled an inanimate object. It was hilarious. I can do it again. Well. At least Nestle could land a leg drop if he had to. I can't speak, obviously, but I can hit a leg drop. And then he said, I've seen him try to land a joke. It's not great. So, you know, yeah, you're just upset, Joe, because I made a joke about the quarterly statement, and we're gonna leave it at that. All right, pal. So it is what it is. But here's the other thing before we move on. Watching her do the Stratisfaction for some reason in slow motion, my brain went like it was like watching somebody show you how to do a magic trick. I'm like, I like clearly somebody's helping somebody do a bulldog, but that was the first real time where I was like, that was all Rodriguez. Like Rodriguez did everything. Like it was just like, here you go. Oh God, I'm taking a move. Like it was so hard to do.
And it was hard when we were a kid, but it's a lot harder now, but a much different hard.
I'm flaccid. There's no way you could get me to rock and roll anymore. I'm flaccid with this entire thing. I am beyond. And then I left it open for Joe Gilmore to come back in about my flaccid penis. So go ahead, Joe. Have fun with that one. In my defense, thanks, Joe. In his defense, he was never trained to be funny. Thank you. I think I'm funnier than all of you put together, but that's just me.
Now, so what do we say about people have to tell people they're funny?
I did tell you if I ever do a stand-up special, it'll be named I'm Funny, damn it. So it's going to happen one day. So Lord. It is what it is. And so I'm going to go through some quick heats here.
Quick heat this shit.
All right. So we are on SmackDown. We have LA Knight setting up a match with Woods over video gaming because that's a real thing. Go fuck yourself. That's a SmackDown rerun. Let's see. We've moved on to Shinsuke Nakamura's back next week. Do you care? I don't, but that's just me. Maybe they'll make him a superstar again. I mean,
if there's ever hope for him doing well, it's under Triple H. So it's a wrestling show. It's a wrestling show. He's a wrestler.
Whatever. Whatever. The travel issues thing was not great. I thought they did a decent job with it, but I thought the hokey thing at the end with fucking Riddle and his Dockers, running, it was just like the whole thing was just kind of like, I appreciate the effort, but the bro and his fucking Dockers was just not for me. And it was just, I'm not a big fan of it, but we're left with whatever it is. Moving on Raw. The other thing that definitely just kind of threw me off about everything was just how much they really pushed Solo in this. It was very odd to me. Like, I get it was a positive, but it was kind of a negative in my aspect where it was like, Heyman did a great job on the promo talking about all this shit. But if he's just the guy that eats pins for Roman Reigns, I don't find him as threatening or a problem. Like, if you keep calling him a problem solver and yet he's proved nothing to solve any problems.
Well, I will say this. Isn't he like 4-0 against KO? I think the only person who's pinned him is Cody. So it's just I think this was like the fourth time he's beat Kevin Owens. You want to talk about reruns? But
to go back to what your statement was earlier about
100%. No, I agree.
I think it's just like, if it's not an effective and true statement, then what are we doing? Like, how much of an enforcer can somebody be if they haven't solved any problems? You know what I mean? Like, so I look at it like the Usos can solve the problem. KO and Sammy are tag team champions. Riddle's back. So like, he hasn't solved anything. Like, how can you be a menace to me? Like, you're really awesome. But to me, it's not like, oh my God, if Brock Lesnar walked out, you're going to eat lunch. But Solo, to me, Solo could slip on a banana peel at any moment. I don't see it. Like, I'm not saying he's a clown particularly. I just think that it's hard to believe him in the persona that they're portraying him in because they haven't given him. He's just in the right place at the right time.
We're stuck. Nobody can move on because they made the decision to run back the entire year they just had again. So we're stuck. Like, that's the overarching theme of like why, like, I was really frustrated with the decision. It was less about Cody. Like, that's obviously part of it. The bigger part was like, we're looking at another year of the shit that we remember just waiting, being like, man, this is tough. Man, this is tough. And then you get a little, like, slight little uptick when Roman comes back for a couple weeks. Like, oh, this is great. Then it's gone. It's just we're stuck. And all these people who got themselves so hot, I just don't see how it maintains itself for a year. And that scares the shit out of me.
That's fair. That's absolutely fair. Moving on. Do you have anything else, or you want to get hopeful?
I did think it was funny that Triple H came out again on SmackDown and jerk himself off in front of all of us again. Because, He's got to do that, and that was a waste of time. But yeah, no, let's get hopeful. Glorious, you're my only hope. I'm going to AEW Nestlemania because FTR are the new AEW Tag Team Champions. They have re-signed in AEW, and it sounds like their reason is because AEW kind of lets them do whatever the fuck they want. So it sounds like they'll be wrestling everywhere except for WWE for the foreseeable future, which, as an FTR fan, at least they're somewhere where I can watch them. And they're the champions again, which is cool. But it got me thinking, they're going to Wembley for AEW. They're finally going across the pond for a pay-per-view. I'm like, well, I would assume since Tony just gave them a lot of money, he's going to have them be the tag team champions for a while, which means they're probably going to be defending these things in Wembley. And I'm thinking, oh, man, there's a lot of possibilities of who they could face. Well, Nestlemania, there's only one across the pond tag team. Probably I kind of equated this when FTR left. I'm like, they're kind of the new revival for me in WWE. But guess what? They've asked for their release and allegedly got it. We're not sure. The Grizzled Young Veterans versus FTR in Wembley Stadium. You want to talk about a JC special? That would be the JC special of all specials, to get fucking Zach Gibson coming out on the mic, just undressing him. Then that FTR pop, and those guys in the ring would have an absolute fucking banger. So give it to me. Hashtag JC knows. Hashtag JC's hopes come true. FTR versus the Grizzled Young Veterans and Wembley Stadium at AEW All In.
All in, yes.
I'm all in for that match.
I am so glad you do not book wrestling. I really am.
Incredible.
No, because that doesn't put butts in the seats. Nobody knows. Nobody knows who the Grizzled Young Veterans are.
Yeah, they do. You're saying people where they're from don't know who they are.
They're not going to care about them.
You clearly never watch NXT. You care? God, we got to get one end in here to just. This is once again Nestlemania, the Brit shamer. Oh, people in fucking Britain don't know who these two fucking local wrestlers who they love are. You're a fucking idiot.
He said that the people in overseas don't care about Will Ospreay. That's what Danny said. So if Will Ospreay doesn't matter, nobody else will matter.
No, here's
the thing. Matter.
AEW they're a traveling circus. They're going to Wembley. People are buying tickets to see thing. They're gonna be excited for FTR no matter who they face. Like, will they sell out? Probably fucking not. That's a big fucking stadium. Okay. But I think they're gonna do a lot better than everything. Like, here's the thing with AEW. People like it's one of those things. It's the same thing with WWE, and that's why the internet's disgusting, because it's people just trying to fucking have a pissing contest back and forth. It's like, look they can both fucking seed. That's a good thing for wrestling. So fuck off. But it just. I think they're gonna do better with this event than people think, because we've seen wrestling over there does really well, and you're gonna get random casuals are gonna love going to this as well. It's a show, and Tony fucking pulls out all the stops because he's a fan at heart, so he books it like a fucking fan, which can work. So it's one of those things. It's like Dom right there. Boom. Dom gets it. You take an act that everyone knows and wants to see, FTR, and then you either put them against someone that you want to push, or you put it against like a local act to make it really cool. And that's what this is my hope for, because that match is going to be fucking amazing. You're a moron. You are a fucking Brit shamer, and you need to get off my TV. What's your hope?
What are you drinking? You're technically on the clock, right? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
I'm on break right now. That's what
you're on break. Thanks. You got an hour break. My hope is also about Wembley, specifically that there is a particular Scottish psychopath who may not re-up his contract. Now, I think most
speaking of Brit shamers.
So here's the thing. AEW has done a terrible job creating stars. Absolutely just dreadful time, in my opinion. They've only created like maybe two, if you can really say anything. But some of those stars were already going to be stars to begin with. However, if Drew McIntyre has enough nuts to say no to WWE and go to AEW, my hope here is that having Drew McIntyre in Wembley Stadium, all in against MJF, imagine the redo from Clash at the Castle, and he beats MJF. That would be fucking insane, because I don't think they have a main eventer. Do they have a main eventer from AEW that is considered a national star that would be good over in the UK?
I assume that the main event's probably going to involve Kenny Omega, because he's.
I would assume it's Adam Cole and MJF. If I had to guess.
But I feel like the main event could actually be like not the title match for once for the AEW. Because this feels like especially because it's weird, because don't they have another pay-per-view right after it? So I feel like this event could be headlined with a dream match of Kenny Omega versus I don't know. It's one of the, I don't know. It's weird because I have All In. Isn't All Out like the next week or something? like that.
It's like I said, it's the end of the month or something like that.
Yeah, so it's like they're very close. So I'm curious to see how this plays out. But I don't know. I feel like unless if like there is some sort of surprise, or if like fucking CM Punk comes back or something, this feels like a Kenny Omega headline show.
So Danny instructed us that 1N says that Drew's contract is not up till after All In, apparently. So
oh, you're telling me the internet was wrong? I'm fucking shocked.
I mean, but I still think Drew McIntyre at AEW would probably get paid a boatload more money to do a hell of a lot less. So
I don't know. WWE plays pretty damn well too, especially a guy like him. Here, he's not going anywhere. The only reason he pretends to go somewhere is to same reason Randy Orton did it. Fucking fatten up that check that Endeavor's gonna write you.
I don't, Joe. I don't think Pac is a big enough name overall. I'm sorry, he's just not. I think he's a fantastic draw.
He should be on the card, 100%.
Oh, absolutely. Push Kip Sabian to the moon. I
mean, Kip Sabian should be on this card too, but the undercard.
Yeah,
he's the fucking man. If you say a bad thing about Kip Sabian, I'm gonna slap you.
He's the buy-in. That's what he is,
man. He'll be on the main card.
It's tough. It's very, very tough. Also, we should probably get some comeback in here. Yeah,
Jamie Hayter should headline the show, by the way, because she's
Jamie Hayter.
Yeah, there's your UK star right there. Jamie Hayter versus Saraya. There's your fucking headliner. That's probably the co-main. Don't call it a comeback. She's been here for years. I'm going to NXT, and I'm giving it to Indy Hartwell because I thought this was going to be one of a few very emotional moments for me watching her pull down that title, but it turned out that might have been the most emotional one. But that was a cool moment because I don't think any of us expected Indy Hartwell to win the NXT Women's Championship. Indy Hartwell is definitely someone that everyone speaks highly of. You saw the elation for everyone on Twitter for her. So I kind of like when good things happen for good people. I thought it was a cool surprise and a cool way to kick off WrestleMania weekend. And since I wasn't here to give it to her last week and you guys didn't even talk about NXT, I had to give Indy Hartwell the shout out and the comeback on this week's Knocker.
I'm sorry. I totally spaced on NXT. Dom and I went way too long on WrestleMania.
You also record the same time as NXT?
Yeah, it's hard to remember all the stuff that we do. Honest to God, my comeback this week goes to Io as well as the other two in that match because I thought these three did a fantastic job in that matchup. Piper and Michin, I was just like, well, we know who's winning, but I will say they all worked their asses off. Piper and Michin have kind of been afterthoughts. It might be because of the travel issues that they got the opportunity to begin with. I don't know, but again, I really want to say this because Io Shirai, Io Sky is an amazing athlete. All three of these were great athletes, but Io needs to be a singles champion. Io needs to be sat right in front of the television, in front of everybody and be like, this is what a star looks like. This is it. We need to break away and let her do her thing because that woman right there is an absolute treasure. And I love her. And I think she's fantastic. And I was so happy to see her get a singles match, but I also thought she did a fantastic job highlighting the other women in that matchup as well, which is not something that everybody can do. So I think she took moves and she gave moves. And I thought, considering it was a random triple threat for no fucking reason, I was very happy to see Io get her moment.
Yeah, we here on the Jobber Knocker have been ready for a Io Sky main roster singles run for probably about 3 or 4 years. We've been asking for her to get called up. So it's good to see it finally coming to fruition. But Nestlemania, that brings us to the big old finish. You already mentioned the shitstorm on SmackDown this week, so we don't got to talk about it. We're going to go straight to AEW because they have, I think I only saw 4 matches booked as of now for Dynamite. But
oh God, you're going to make me go look. All right.
Cocaine Con will add a few more. We have Keith Lee versus Chris Jericho. We have Swerve Strickland versus Darby Allin. We have Riho and Sky Blue taking on Tony Storm and Ruby Soho. And we have my boy Powerhouse Hobbs defending the TNT title against hometown boy Silas Young. They're in Milwaukee.
Nobody cares about Silas Young. I'm sorry.
I know.
I don't. And then they also have MJF's what does it say? Mandatory presence in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So I mean he's there. I'll be curious to see what they do. Oh, apparently you said, did you say Riho and Blue Sky
yes.
Blue? Okay.
Yes.
All right. So yeah, I think you
Sky Blue officially signed to AEW. My girl, stud.
What took them so long? Honestly,
literally she's on TV every week because fucking we love her. She's amazing.
I mean,
I like her blue.
Well, I don't know why they just don't change her name to Sky Butt because that's really what she is. But that's just. Well, I'm just calling what I see.
She's a good young prospect.
Yeah,
much like Anna Jay, she has a fat ass and a bad attitude. Great. If you haven't seen the Anna Jay promo for Rampage like a week ago, it was probably the single greatest random promo I've ever seen in my life because she literally
She hit that fat ass line so hard too.
Her and what's the House of Black chick's name?
Julia
Hart main
Yeah.
evented Rampage. And I will say this, Julia Hart's fucking entrance is fucking amazing. And like she sings it and it was cool. And I'm like, oh, it's awesome. These two women are getting highlighted because they're both like fucking 20 years old. You put Sky Blue in this and like they're three youngsters. But Anna Jay just like they made a fucking t-shirt now. Just
the fat ass.
I got a fat ass and a bad attitude and I'm gonna choke her out. Like,
I mean, if you get that shirt, anybody, including Joe Gilmore, if you get that shirt right now, like I don't know,
you might as well just staple virgin to your forehead.
It was the thought process came to my mind because I sent it to everybody in the Jobber Knocker thread and I said, "Oh, how many fucking horn dogs are going to buy this shirt?"
No male should wear that.
And Josh,
women can wear that shirt.
Josh said straight up, he goes, "I don't think anybody can wear that outside of the house."
No, it's if
there's no way.
That shirt, you can't leave.
If Bertsky, if anybody buys that shirt, walks out in public with it, not photoshopped, I will tell you right now, I just my face will melt because I just don't think that's possible. It's just not possible.
A fat ass and a bad attitude.
I mean, I'm either of those. I don't have a fat ass or a bad attitude. Like I just like the woman says what she says, man. It's just it cracked me up so bad. I was doing this because I can't laugh because I'm watching wrestling in bed. And it's just like, it's so fucking funny. So fucking funny.
It was honestly, that was like to end the WrestleMania week, like the week after. And I just like, that was like the last thing I saw was that promo and it put a smile on my face. And then we're seeing that they made an event this past week. It's just like, it's fucking incredible. Fucking just good for MJ.
Is there anything else that you want to talk about before? Because we didn't get to talk about Endeavor with UFC. You're a UFC guy.
It made sense. It's one of those things. Like I don't really have a lot to add. I thought you guys were decent on what people have like read. It just like it makes a lot of sense for obviously this is what like the stuff that we've started to see WWE try to do in terms of like the promotions with like matches being sponsored and things being sponsored. That is going to rev up to infinity. That is the thing you're going to see on screen because the biggest change for UFC when Endeavor bought them was all of a sudden the amount of money they made just because they're like putting fucking like 50 sponsors on the map. Every fighter has a sponsor. Every graphic that comes on screen during the broadcast is connected to a sponsor. Like all around, like you're going to like everything on the ring, everything around the ring is going to have sponsors. Like you're going to see more of those Mountain Dew pitch black match type of things. That's what's going to be the biggest on-screen difference you notice. Besides that, from what we've seen with Endeavor, with UFC and other things they do, they're completely hands off because the people that were already running it and doing a good job, they want them to continue to do that just with more financial backing. And the only thing they're going to change is fucking making more money. That is the biggest thing here. So for WWE, this is the perfect person they want to sell to if they want to keep things business as usual. So it makes a ton of sense from that. For those of you hoping that Ari Emanuel and Endeavor is going to say, see events, people don't like you. They didn't give a shit when Dana White fucking slapped his wife and it went around. They literally gave zero punishment and don't give zero fucks. So I wouldn't hold your breath on them getting rid of Vince McMahon. If Vince McMahon goes, it's going to be either because he's dead or he wants to walk away. So he's still going to be involved in some capacity. But I will say until I'm given a reason not to believe it, I do believe that Triple H is still running the creative show and that he is human and can make a lot of mistakes as well. But I would, it just don't get your hopes about Vince getting ousted because I would put that at 0.0000001%.
That's a lot of zeros.
Yeah, because I got a fat ass and a bad attitude. It's the greatest thing I've ever seen. So bad is good.
I got this thing where like if you lost a bet, I would have you get the Cody Rhodes neck tattoo, the fat ass and the bad attitude shirt. I'd make you wear like some type of ridiculous parachute pants. Like
you have to make me bleach blonde my hair like Cody.
Oh my God. If you could bleach blonde your hair, and your beard. If you bleach blonde your beard, I would die a little inside. I would think that'd be great. I might have to Photoshop what you would look like just because we're never gonna see it. Like if I have time, I'm gonna Photoshop. I don't know if I'll have time, but if I gotta basically take Cody Rhodes' head and put your face on him. But yeah,
you're gonna make him uglier, pretty much. Put my face on him. So,
well, a different reason to say whoa because that picture will be a little fucked up. But whatever, it's fine. I think on that note, we're pretty good. Did I forget anything? Did we miss anything?
I don't think so, man. It just
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see how it goes in the coming weeks. But yeah, I mean, I think we're still gonna have plenty of things to talk about. But
Okay. Joe says that JC would still look better than casting Couch Nestle. See, now he's just hurt because I said a little truth in this podcast, and now he's upset about it. But I'm just saying, I'm a pretty man. I can say what I want. I don't really know, but I can't grow facial hair to be dyed. Exactly.
you just called yourself a pretty man.
I am a pretty man.
Okay.
I'm a pretty man.
Yeah,
I'm the prettiest man in this podcast. I'll say that. I am.
Oh my god.
I'm just saying.
You know how when people say they're funny and pretty.
You saying I'm ugly and stupid is what you're telling me?
No, I didn't say you were stupid. I think you're
I'm
very intelligent. I just think you're
and unattractive.
very unfunny. And there is a finishing move called the unprettier. So
So you're saying that I'm unpretty. Thanks.
No, I didn't say that. I just said no.
You're implying that I'm ugly and not
What's
funny.
between pretty and unpretty?
Personality?
It might be a cult one. I don't know.
I'm just saying. We could, Bursky, you guys need to rip a pretty deadly cosplay next Halloween.
I would totally wear some of the shit they wear because it is fucking ridiculous. I would do that for Halloween. 100%.
Can we get the puffy white shirts? Because
I would 100%. I'd wear the fucking fishnets. I would 100%.
I would get the Fabio fucking hair. I would get the fucking fake chest hair.
Are you Kit or
I have to. I have to be Kit.
Okay. I like you get to see me as a blonde then if I'm Elton.
That's fine. I have to be Kit. I mean, I'm a brunette. I have to wear it. All right. I mean, I don't think it would match, but that's just me. It is what it is. What are you laughing at? Oh boy. Yikes. I can't even say that out loud. All right. On a serious note, folks, before this place gets fucking burned to the ground with these comments. Today is the 7th anniversary of the Jobber Knocker, so I did want to have a special shout out to JC. He doesn't like when I say nice things about him, but 7 years of dealing with my bullshit has been a lot. So I just want to thank him personally, as well as everybody else on the Knocker. I'm gonna forget somebody, so I'll try not to forget. He'll tell me. We're gonna do TJ. I'll even throw in old school Danny Quinn. I'll throw in Danny Grimwood, Joe Stopper, Ray, Conway, Dommy Boy. Whom else am I missing? Well, the intern Trav was the originator. We had
Real Deal B Cox.
That's what I forgot. Real Deal B Cox. He was fucking awesome too. I miss him every day. Did I miss anybody else? I feel like I missed somebody. There's got to be other Guthrie. We got to show our
boy Guthrie does the intro for us.
And Todd did the music still. So like, there's a lot of people who help out.
Michael Downing does the fucking Knocker voice every year. So there's been a lot of people who have contributed over the years, and obviously all you guys that come in every week in our chat and then tweeted us, like all of you guys deserve a shout out too, because that's why we do it, because it makes it fun.
I forgot about Billy Biceps. I forgot Billy was a contributor as well. So
one of the most read articles on the Knocker of all time. The Uso article.
Besides the WrestleMania sign pointing. Oh, I think I just dislocated my kneecap. I'm gonna have to call the calf cracker. Oh, Jesus, getting old. I don't know. This is getting out of hand. Anyway, on that note, thank you for listening to the Jobber Knocker. We'll be back next week with more Jobber Knockery
and bigger asses and worse attitudes.